Intro.
Hi, I'm your goddess Nazca. Here with Chuckaman. We're talking about more of Kirsche.
The Vice articles, the three that they put up, got taken down.
Oh.
It's a funny story.
So it looks like we're getting a trilogy to this ongoing Kirsche situation. If you want full context behind everything leading up to today, you can check out my two previous videos on the subject.
Check out our two previous
However,
videos to reacting
things
to
have
it.
gotten very crazy with this cancellation campaign targeting Kirsche and her sponsors. A life ruination campaign fueled by various articles and viral tweets trying to slander her, including 3 hit piece articles produced by Vice. And now, after the effect of those, Kirsche is now making an official response with the help of this.
Oh, this is funny. This is her friend who lives up in New York. They cosplayed as her. They dropped a Google Doc, went up to Vice's office, and duct taped it to their door.
She's really pretty.
That's Kirsche's friend cosplaying as her.
Well, not sure who they are, but they cosplayed as Kirsche and delivered the document to their door. This contains a Google Doc that Kirsche has made responding to the situation and also making retraction requests to Vice and threatening possible legal action if they do not follow through on that request. Now, to sum up everything leading up to this video in a very simple way, there's a cancellation campaign targeting Kirsche. They're trying to get her deplatformed. They're trying to remove her sponsors. And they're doing this through hit piece articles as well as viral tweets trying to paint her as a white supremacist, racist, Nazi, bigot, all these buzzwords they love to overuse on social media.
They really
And unfortunately, this campaign was successful in ending one of her partnerships, and that was with the game Crime Boss. And she was an integral part of growing this game and putting it on the map. And when people saw that she was removed, her partnership severed as a result of this ridiculous, slanderous cancel campaign, you can see the results. The negative reviews poured in. People are very...
So what, did some people take away some of the negative reviews?
No, it's just a daily reviews on it.
I'm just saying that the bar looks different from the last one.
Mad at these developers for really having no spine and also for welcoming in the modern audience who, by the way, is now asking for refunds because they think this game is too problematic. Congratulations, Crime Boss, you played yourself. Now, of course, that's not good enough for a lot of the people involved in this harassment campaign against Kirsche. You can see this Anna Vellens individual. This is a Vice journalist who's made...
This is the Vice journalist that wrote the hit pieces.
Well, I guess if you're a journalist, your job is to hate everything, or pick on someone to hate on them, because that's how you can write anything interesting, because you got nothing interesting to tell.
Been the subject of all 3 hit pieces on Kirsche that have been recently released, and now that they had this successful campaign with Crime Boss, now they're going after other sponsors, mainly gamer subs, trying to get them to end their partnership with Kirsche over misinformation and their primary sources, which is largely from Reddit posts and 4chan posts. Yes, words of other people on various websites like that. That's the best they got. But also there's other people fuming in the VTubing scene. You can see this post that got a lot of attention saying, so much Kirsche hate has been on my timeline recently, and I have to say to that, keep it going,
that guy's
guys.
Exploding.
I love to see those racist Nazi Mayo Moon crickets get dragged to filth.
Did Naruto run
Man,
away?
The anti-racist strike once again. This is advanced.
Oh no, he was just tripping all over the place.
Nazi Mayo Moon crickets. What kind of slur is that?
Levels of racism, ladies and gentlemen. This person has to pull out a whole thesaurus to try to make up a slur to go after Kirsche with, while also trying to supposedly combat racism. Now,
I agree with the guy in the middle, choking on my drink and
speech
spitting
does
it
not
up.
mean freedom from consequences, and that's what happened here. They would lose their ambassador position with advanced...
That's a slur against Asians, I think.
I don't even know anymore at this point.
See, this is what I was saying. You can string together a bunch of different words and turn it into a slur. Words should not be gatekept. It's stupid.
GG. And you can see they're quoting people making fun of them, saying, can you people read, I don't care that deeply, let it go. And people are clowning on this, of course, because clearly someone who constantly says over and over again, I don't care, clearly care a lot. But here's what I think they care about. Yeah. I think they care about being made fun of. That's what they care about. They don't care about losing the Advanced GG partnership or ambassador position that much, because let's be real, this is not shaming small content creators. I was a small content creator myself at one point, but this person has like 6 YouTube videos, and their last stream was like 6 months ago. I don't think they were making a substantial amount of money from their ambassador position with Advanced GG, so losing that was not some major financial blow, so I think that's why they're so okay with what happened. However, while they were getting dunked on, they started to get a little spicy in the replies to that previous post saying this: I just learned Rev is sponsored by Advanced. Thank God they dropped me, bro. Holy S, I didn't know they were working with that stinker.
Okay, so now they're attacking him?
Yeah, he's always been attacked.
Aww.
Well, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, use code REV30 to get 30% off your total Advanced GG order. Use that link.
Oh, he has a gamer fuel
cuppy thingy. Make sure you use that code REV30 at checkout to save 30%. This offer is valid until the 16th, so make sure to take advantage of it while you still can. Now let me talk about Advanced GG. What a great time to try it out or to restock.
I'm gonna skip.
And of course, you can see right here that Kirsche would respond to this series of tweets when she's referred to as a Mayo moon cricket, and she would say, actually, I'm a fox. And also, let me make this clear, since people are saying this about Kirsche, I'm sure they're going to say it about me. If someone wants to talk on social media, I think anyone should be able to talk about them. Just because they're a small channel doesn't mean I'm stripped of my freedom of speech. I can respond to people, especially when they're directly talking about you. They're starting the fight, so...
I wonder, do we know that we got it big if someone is actually taking the time to make a video on us?
Yeah, or you get someone on Twitter to repost your shit like 100 times a day. When you live rent-free in someone's head, that's when you know you made it.
They better expect someone to respond when they're called out like that. But anyways... let's return to Kirsche here, that original post we started off with earlier in the video. You can see her tagging Vice and saying, like some kind of secret middle-of-the-night ballot drop. I left a little something for you. I made sure it's on par with your company's journalistic quality, so you'll take it seriously. And let's play this video, by the way.
You already did. Was that in the last video?
No.
Amazing stuff, as always here.
Why do I feel like
but
we
of course, let's get into the Google Doc.
Ow.
She made a very concerted effort to make this.
Hello. Yeah, you're kind of late. I mean, you missed the unboxing. Did you change that, by the way, or is it the same?
It's the same.
Oh, okay. This will be funny.
Yeah, this is our
average
Google Doc
post while also seriously addressing the issue. So she begins by addressing Vice's Waypoint, which is, I guess, Vice's attempt to revitalize that platform here. But you can see she says an open letter from Kirsche. Hey Vice, what the F? I'm Kirsche, a VTuber, which means I stream with a digital avatar that looks like this.
Yes,
down
she's
here
so
she
pretty.
says you can catch me on these various platforms.
Hi, welcome. Do not expect me to say names. My names do not know how to name.
We do not English.
We do not English. That's not even... I do not word.
And then says, I'm not a Nazi. They walk funny, did too much meth, and didn't like to laugh, and they probably would hate me and most of my friends. So how come you keep calling me one? And then she says, Vice used to be a very respected outlet. I agree with that. They used to be a very respected outlet, one that I enjoyed personally. But they say, in any event, about a month ago, Waypoint, which is one of your verticals, a quasi-independent outlet, a failed gaming news site that you are trying to revive, something most people don't even know exists. Either way, it started publishing articles about me saying I'm a bigot, I'm a Nazi sim, and I'm responsible for all sorts of online harassment. It's completely untrue, of course, but also why me? Why now? I'm an anime fox woman. What could a once respectable news org want with me? It's 2018 all over again. Is Vice the PC police for VTubers?
Everything I am is nothing. Did you go kick?
So again, Vice, what the F? Okay, let me break it down. I know I've covered this in the past couple of streams, but Vice isn't a subscriber yet. Maybe if I tangent about their Colombian donkey, oh my lord, video.
What?
Donkey fucking video. That's an actual video they had on Vice.
But why?
Okay. Kirsche reacted to this on her stream. Basically, Vice did an article, down in Colombia, men would actually funk donkeys till they get married so they keep their innocence. That is an actual thing.
Isn't this how AIDS happened?
I think that's with monkeys, but I don't know.
I know it's with monkeys, but I'm just saying, you're fucking an animal. What kind of weird disease are you gonna get from fucking donkeys, I wonder?
Yeah, that's the thing. They would... Yeah, I was actually upset because his wife wouldn't let him fuck donkeys anymore. That's an actual thing.
Give these men fucking sex toys for crying out loud.
It's Colombia, they can't afford it.
Okay, instead of sending condoms to wherever, send these guys sex toys. That's what we should spend money
you don't want to know.
A few more times they'll come around. I'm sure they won't, unfortunately. So here they begin with the first article. This is the headline saying...
Pin the dick in the donkey. There you go.
Is that how the game started?
Why is this gamer subs VTuber pushing the great replacement theory? And as she says, not to brag or anything, I have over 184,000 fans. You're accusing me of bigotry because one of my fans is a supposed Nazi. That's like saying McDonald's supports communism because Kim Jong-un likes Big Macs. And
that's a good point. If one of our friends is a Nazi, then McDonald's supports communism because Kim Jong-un likes Big Macs. And he eats all the Big Macs in North Korea.
But wait, they also support Trump because Trump likes the Big Macs. He even worked for McDonald's at one time.
That's another point.
Was a post where someone bought her merch, and in that
literally
post
put the fries in the bag
with her merch in the shot, there was also some what people claim are Nazi symbols. And now they're trying to say, because of that, she is supporting X, Y, and Z. It is an incredible reach, and they're trying everything in their power to basically lambast her over that. Now, of course, we can't really get into these articles without talking about its author, at least the author of the first two, Anna Valens. You saw her earlier. She's been tagging the sponsors Kirsche works with relentlessly on social media, and she is someone who is a massive hypocrite, and her credibility is none, as I will show right now. So recently she started working with Vice, and one of her first articles was...
Hey! Those are really good looking.
That's Velours.
I knew it looked familiar. Wah, I'm sad.
These VTubers want you in their lewd game. You might want to pass. And in this case, they're talking about
was that one of the new ones?
YouTuber agency Velour, right?
Really?
They make two major claims. They said that their hiring process is transphobic with the biggest reach you will ever see in your life. But relevant to what I'm talking about here is they call out one of the talents who is a lolly VTuber who obviously does lewd activities with this.
That reminds me of that one video we did of what was that guy's name?
What?
You know, where they had they made the Mick come and the different hamburgers people could make up for McDonald's.
Oh yeah, the internet story.
That's the word. Yeah.
Company, since they're a lewd-tuber agency, and Anna Valens says that is problematic, that it's promoting pedophilia, and that this content caters to predators, all predicated on concepts that they support that clearly says
gangbang,
fiction affects reality. That's how they're jumping to this conclusion, saying fiction affects reality. That is the standard they are using onto other people to make wild accusations against them. And just like everyone else who makes that statement, they're a massive hypocrite on the subject of fiction affecting reality or not. They make that claim while also...
Okay, so they made a hit piece for Velour?
Yeah, that's how Kirsche initially found them.
Oh.
Because one of their main characters, their biggest VTuber has a lolly-like aesthetic.
Right. I'm sad. I really wanted that job for Velour. I didn't make the audition. Wow.
Assuming very similar content themselves.
Hey! That's my favorite anime!
Measure Bezier?
Yeah.
She's not a lolly.
Gushing over... Yes, they are.
What, Measure?
Yeah. They're in high school.
They're not lolly characters. They're petite, but they're not lolly.
Yes, they are. They're in high school.
Interactions they've had with all kinds...
What do you consider lolly? At what age do you consider lolly?
underage. I don't know.
How about Neo Alice?
Neo, yeah.
Kinds of art.
And you notice how they never looted her in the...
Unless they aged her up first. Remember, they looted her when she was... They aged her up as an adult.
Yeah.
Featuring characters from Lolicon series, characters that are underage, characters that are lollies, and / all of the above. So they consume and interact with that stuff themselves that they're using to chastise others, while also being a very vocal, long-time customer.
Answer.
Why'd they blur out Maja Bezos' chest? Is it because of her normal outfit is just the stars?
Yeah.
Because I don't think she was topless.
Faku, which sells a whole category on their website of Lolicon dojins. So they don't go after this company that they support, but they use that same thread of logic to attack another company, in this case Violor, and make wild accusations against them. That's obviously very hypocritical.
Reality.
On top of that,
is with Asia or Anna A3 that was only created February of. I have no idea what that is.
Oh, yeah, their fan fiction they made. That's the one that Kirsche read and got her in trouble. What?
Oh, just moving your hair.
By the way, this person...
It's fun, but there always be lines where it comes too lonely. I know. It's so...
By the way, you better shave that mullet off, give it back to the rednecks. That's cultural appropriation. You give that mullet back to us rednecks.
This voice clip has made the rounds. I'm not gonna play it because I've heard it once and I've heard it too many times.
Oh yeah, the rape fetish.
You can listen to it for yourself, or you can watch other people who reacted to it, including Asmongold. God bless his soul, going through that. But here we have Anna Vellens sharing a fantasy of theirs, where, to sum it up, it's some reality where trans people have subjugated biological women and have now forced them into breeding facilities, and now the trans people routinely R-word them, and yeah, that's...
I've seen that hentai.
But this person makes Chris Chan look sane. That's how bad when Chris Chan looks sane compared to you.
Yep.
The story they're fantasizing about. Again, this person says fiction affects reality and you should be judged so based on your interests.
Yeah.
Obviously very hypocritical here. Again, on top of that, they have routinely expressed interest in age play audios, in producing them. And if you don't know what that is, that's when one or multiple people in a group, they're role-playing is an age that they're not, and take a good guess as to what ages they're typically role-playing as. And then they doubled down on that claim in 2024 and said at first, professionally speaking, it was a bit of a no-go for them. But then they said, I don't have much writing up on age play, but I'm very...
This person lives in their fetishes 24/7. I could turn my whatever fetish I have off and go out into the real world and talk to human beings.
I can sort of turn my fetish off. I don't get a lot of exposure to the real world, to be honest, so...
Supportive of it, having been in a mommy-daughter dynamic that was extremely fulfilling for them, and they feel like age play can be an important and healing form of play for many adults and should be destigmatized. I show these things for one reason only. Some people say just because they have these interests, they should be immediately discredited. I show this because it shows that they're a hypocrite.
Not corn! Lolly and Ken like what you like, but stay away from me. Yeah.
I prefer my anime women with boobs and ass, so there you go.
And that their words shouldn't be trusted. They said, because you consume...
Unless they're actually affecting real kids, though, then you just need to go to jail. You just need to go to jail. You leave children alone.
This anime stuff, you are a predator. And that's what you're appealing to with your lolly VTuber model. While they also have these fantasies of the R word, of age play, of these other things just involving anime itself. But now we're going to move on to
Don't worry, I'll get my personal angel Sappy Vappy to explode it all away. As long as Cloud doesn't get in the way. Fuck Cloud.
Leave them kids alone, yes.
Leave them kids alone. One of the more egregious things
that needs to be brought up as well.
Oh, this article. Anna Milan's made a...
Oh, Fall Guys, that game.
They made it where they had a butt plug wired to Fall Guys. When anybody touched them, the butt plug vibrated.
What?
And wrote an article on it.
What?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. If thinking is crime, you are... No. Yes. What? Thinking... I don't know what the hell that is. Thinking of it a crime, yes or no?
Be right back. Yeah, you gotta leave
in 2020. This article is disgusting for reasons I'm gonna explain. So Anna, in their infinite wisdom, decided it was a good idea to rig an adult toy on themselves and have it so when they're playing Fall Guys, if they bumped into another
kids. That is a very good question. That is a really good question, because how do you can't monitor someone's mental state. Like, I'm admitting here, I'm really fucked up in the brain when it comes to Sephiroth. Okay? I'm admitting it. Yeah, you see my thumbnail on Final Fantasy VII playthrough. As long as you're not actually hurting anyone, but I don't know. The moment you start actually doing something to someone else, that's a good question. That's a messed up. Yeah.
Other character, it would trigger the toy. So yes, I understand this is a video game, right? And it's interaction with other players, but there's no consent here. They're getting gratification through this game involving players who don't know that it's happening. They're not consenting to what's happening.
And also, who usually plays Fall Guys? Young kids.
That's what makes this very disturbing, and what makes it even more disturbing is that...
So is that a gameplay that's out for public, or is that a gameplay that someone modded specifically for themselves?
This is what Anna did for themselves, and wrote an article on it.
Then I don't see...
And this article got taken down, too.
I don't see what the problem is. It's not out there for public use and junk. Like, for example, again, with the whole modding thing with single-player games, like, in my free time for Final Fantasy VII, everyone knows that I'm using that Naked Sephiroth mod. Everyone knows that.
Yeah, but Sephiroth's an adult. These are kids they're playing with.
No, they're not kids. They're inhuman.
Fall Guys is a game.
Those little pill things are inhuman. Those are not kids. Those pill things are not kids.
I don't know. It's just weird.
Children. So I don't understand on what planet they thought this was a good idea. This is a very disturbing thing that they produced back in 2020. I produced these.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's what I was asking. Is this a mod that's grown adults are using for themselves that's not out in the public, or is this something out in the public being used where kids can mess with it? You know what I mean?
This is not someone who's very trustworthy. This is not someone who should have much credibility whatsoever. They're a massive hypocrite on a million different subjects. But let's finally return to the Google Doc here, okay?
Oh, I forgot about this.
So you can see Kirsche talking about this first one, saying, rather than back up this outrageous accusation, the article starts off by talking about my sponsor, GamerSupps. Then they go on here and say, however, GamerSupps is in hot water with many VTuber fans due to the behavior of who else?
There's the issue.
But Kirsche.
Yeah.
That's where the issue is.
That's the problem I was trying hard to explain.
Okay, yeah. Because anyone, if it's public and anyone can play, unless you have like your own little private room where you're only like people you know can play, or you know that they're adults or whatever, then yeah, fine, who cares? But once kids are allowed to...
That's what they were doing.
Okay, then that was shit. That was shit then.
An anime fox girl with a knack for sharing alt-right talking points. Kirsche has landed herself in controversy after controversy online due to her right-wing beliefs. At this point, it begs the question whether GamerSupps will one day pull the plug on the VTuber for good. Do you see the way they're approaching this? This is all about life ruination. This is about pulling sponsors. This is not about spreading awareness. All it's focusing on is GamerSupps and saying, why are they still employing you? Why are they still working with you? You're so bad. You have alt-right talking points, right-wing beliefs. They don't even keep it consistent.
Look good, but all together.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, with people like this, anything to the right of Karl Marx is probably alt-right to them. But anyways, Kirsche says, my first time hearing about this supposed controversy, literally, I've been sponsored by GamerSupps since September of 2023. This is a tactic called manufacturing consensus, where activists claim everyone agrees with them to make their point seem legit. Note that this paragraph doesn't cite a single source. Yes, so they are literally...
It points to real Ugh.
What?
Real fucked up implications.
Yeah.
Just saying everyone's offended, while they're creating the narrative that everyone is offended in order to make their claims have any sort of meaning whatsoever. And also the sources cited in the article, guess where they're from? Anonymous.
Take everything with a grain of salt or a cup of salt. No, in between.
Posts on Reddit.
Yeah.
This is hard-hitting journalism in action, ladies and gentlemen. But let's continue on. Here's the headline of the second Vice article, saying VTubing has an elephant in the room.
And it specifically picked the two lolly-looking characters from Violore, along with Kirsche, and they used a 4chan anonymous post as their source. Yeah.
That's so dumb.
Do not fuck with the 4chaners, they will fuck with you.
Boom. Bigotry. And what's their proof of this? A random 4chan post. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we should be really focusing on as a trusted source.
There are two sites you do not fuck with on the internet. 4chan and Kiwi Forums.
4chan of all places.
Is 4chan still down?
I never even went on it ever once. I've actually never heard of it until the whole Kirsche drama. But learning about Kirsche drama.
But 4chan went down about a month ago because they got hacked. I don't know if it's back up or not.
Ew.
So, again, for the millionth time, Kirsche says, obviously I think harassment is bad. I don't do it. And I tell my fans not to do it. The suggestion made repeatedly in this article that I and my fans endorse harassment is totally false. In fact, fully half of the tweets quoted in this article from a person who goes by Invented or Bint, who has serially harassed me for months. Does Anna Vellens mention this in her article? No. Do I have proof of this harassment, which I would have shared if Vice bothered to ask? Absolutely. Here's some examples. And it's like calling her Ku Klux Kirsche, saying they don't indulge in a place of cruelty. I take joy in knowing that she's...
This is the person I was talking about that posts like 100 times a day.
Of how much he hates her.
Yeah.
Burdened by hatred that should be, or should burden you in some form, if not from guilt, then from the rightful consequences as minimal as people...
Okay, is this person male or female?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know.
Did they ever hit on Kirsche and she rejected them?
No, it's just a schizo who... schizo.
This is why I don't like the internet. I know, right?
Hey, there's some fun points on the internet, but there's also a lot of crazy on the internet.
Criticizing and making fun of you on Twitter. Can I add, low-key set off the domino effect that led to a sketchy VTuber sponsor to lose thousands of dollars on my resume. So they're proudly saying that they're going to be the main charge here, trying to get her to financially suffer and lose sponsorships. Again, if you want to know, you can look at this person.
Kirsche Senpai didn't notice him.
Oh, she knows of him. She just doesn't want to repeat his name.
Profile, like, it's not a daily obsession. It's not an hourly obsession with Kirsche. It's a by the minute obsession. It is non-stop attempts to engage in life ruination. They have latched on to Kirsche, and I unfortunately suspect they're going to continue. But that's the sources being used for these articles. But they continue on and says the article doesn't mention this person that they're using as a source. And also, the article again talks about my sponsor GamerSupps and tries to make it seem like there's some sort of controversy brewing. Here's the words that were in the article. Earlier this week, independent VTuber Rin Penrose announced the end of her partnership with gaming supplement company GamerSupps. According to Penrose, her decision came to due to associations with creators whose views strongly conflict with my own, as well as a lack of communication from the company on this issue. And Kirsche says, look, I love GamerSupps and that they support VTubers from every side of the political spectrum. That's one of the things that makes them such an amazing partner. That and their awesome supplements. And then she says, crossed out here, use code REV30 for 30% off your PG order. That's very kind.
Why was it crossed out?
He did that probably because he's also got a sponsor of GamerSupps.
Here we have this saying, I hope I continue to work with GamerSupps, but if this effort to cancel me is successful, I have to wonder who's next. Well, that's the whole point.
But okay. If I'm not mistaken, GamerSupps also does more than just VTubers. Didn't they also do like PewDiePie?
Tectone did one. Asmongold, another one. I know there's a couple.
I think Angry Joe, doesn't he have one? I remember.
I think it's G Fuel.
Oh, I get those mixed up.
I do too.
Okay, never mind. Okay, that wasn't PewDiePie then. I think PewDiePie had G Fuel too, didn't he?
Yeah.
And
whatever.
People are already taking the crime boss narrative and using that as fuel to keep going after more sponsors. You're giving people a feedback loop. When you as a sponsor drop someone over these cancellation campaigns, you're rewarding their insane behavior and their life ruination campaigns, and you're encouraging them even further. But now we move on to the third article where it's titled...
Before we move on, I just want to say, I support the AI overlords.
You know, the AI overlord fucked up and hit one of our videos.
Shush.
Waypoint stands with Anna Vellens, and they show posts from other people that's now being attributed to Kirsche once again. And they're showing suggestions on Throne, a wishlist website. This is one of them, for example. They're showing this on social media saying it continues, referring to the harassment campaign they've been facing. And it's a clown suit.
Specifically a men's clown suit.
Hey, it's only $22.50.
But also, there was a very important discovery here made by Curry Rinji. This is really important. This is referring to the third article. There was a change. There was a change to the article the day after. And now some of the content is missing. Well, what content? As you can see here, they're going after... Now, also, legal, by the way. But they're showing these screenshots of the harassment campaign going on. But they show this.
This one's not even Kirsche.
Why is there a man bulldog? So will you be an AI, get paid by an AI? Honest question. I'm gonna make love to an AI.
But this person... Okay, we're probably get into it. They screen capture something on their Reddit. Of, you're a man, you can never be a lesbian, which...
That's kind of the truth there.
But look how soon they caught it, 1 second ago.
Wow, they're just instantly just paying attention to anything she writes.
Either they have Ultra Instinct like Goku, and the minute that person posted that, they screen captured it, or they made that post themselves. Which is ultimately more pathetic.
Putting words in other people's mouths, huh?
Right here, right at the forefront. Now, if you look at this, it says with the name blacked out. Curious. You are a man, you cannot be a lesbian, referring to Anna Vellens. And of course, this is posted in the Vor subreddit. Interesting. But here's the problem. Look at the screenshot. Posted 1 second ago.
Now here's a question. Can a man be a lesbian if they're fully transitioned?
I don't know. I don't know, and I don't want to know.
Either Anna Vellens has the fastest reaction speed in the entire world, or this is possibly a manufactured piece of supposed evidence here that they likely created themselves to paint themselves as a victim of an anonymous user sending a hateful message. This is a really terrible look for Vice. It was Vice's article.
You know, it's just easy just to say everyone's bi It's just easier to say that. Just be bi and be happy.
Trying to defend Anna Vellens, and this is the type of evidence they're producing. It looks highly manufactured, if we're being honest. This looks really suspicious. You see this all the time on places like Twitter where people are like, I'm being harassed. Here's a hate message. And, they forget to crop out certain things, or they have situations like this. Posted 1 second ago. This looks incredibly suspicious. But let's continue on with this Google Doc. So, again, Kirsche says, harassment is bad. No one should do it. And I tell my fans not to. But then the article says everything she's going through. But I'll sum it up. Anna's being attacked for simply asking.
And Kirsche has banned people who have harassed on her behalf. She does not tolerate that. She will not put up with that. She will ban people for doing that.
Questions about certain areas of the VTubing community, which she's an active part of. And you see what this whole active part of, where they're trying to go with all this by going after big names for clout. But, of course, Kirsche responds saying, just asking questions? Look, happy. I read those articles pretty carefully.
You're only happy when you're dead.
And then you gotta find your way in life. You gotta find what makes you happy. And sad to say, these people, their happiness is being miserable online. That's kind of sad and pathetic.
I do not see a lot of questions, mostly a lot of statements based on Reddit threads and other anonymous sources. This seems very targeted at me and why. I'm an anime fox girl VTuber, your vice. What the F? Also, this happened in the article. The time for games is over.
What?
The irony is totally dead. We are still talking about VTubing, right? Anyway, not to be all you started it, but you literally started it. There was no controversy. No one, apart from a few anonymous internet trolls, Vice quotes in its articles, which might not even be real, at least some of the examples, was butthurt about me and what I was doing or saying on my stream until you started writing articles calling me a Nazi, and now you're calling me a bully and saying it's time to start a war. This is a 2018 cancel culture style article all over again. Or is this VTubergate, which is the phrase...
Hold on, I got a Savage Garden. Love and other emotions are just chemical reactions in your brain. In your brain. Feelings of aggression are the absence of the love drug in your veins.
I call it VTubergate.
Yep. Veins. All right.
VTubergate.
They're trying to use, by the way, which is absolutely embarrassing. Anyway, it's getting pretty tiresome. Someone says something you don't agree with. Start saying they're controversial. Name drop a bunch of brands they work with, play the victim card, or rage tweet at them until their sponsors fail. This is the playbook used over and over again. And here is the final page saying, anyway, if you're just asking questions, I have one. How come in the middle of all this, Anna Vellens is asking people to buy her gifts on Throne? Surely this isn't just a big branding opportunity for someone who wants to become a definitive VTuber journo, right? Right?
You want the Kirsche little emotes?
We got our own emotes coming. I can't wait to get your Aqua one coming in if you scream like Aqua.
Yeah, we're getting 2 new emotes coming in. We're getting a bunch of what is all the art stuff? We're getting a logo coming in.
A logo. We're
getting a nice, pretty picture of me and my cat.
And also again 2 emotes, which are.
We already said the emo part. What's the other thing?
The reason why we get that art, once we get that art in, we can send it to the other person to make our intro and outro for our YouTube videos.
And then what's the other thing?
Oh yeah, the screen start stream intro. Oh, Universal Wolf's here.
Yeah, welcome, Wolfie. You missed like half of it.
Seems awfully suspicious. Now here's the important part. I don't want to go to court over this, but if you keep calling me a Nazi and keep calling for my sponsors to drop me, what else am I supposed to do? Seriously, Vice, is this what you want? You want to be the PC police for VTubers. On your front page right now, you have articles about crazy...
You know what? I'm calling it here. Let's gatekeep the word Nazi. Stop using the word Nazi. It's the new N-word. Just stop using it.
Oh, there's a video I gotta show you. I have to look it up. There's a video I gotta show you.
Stop.
horny mud
It has no power.
And how cool it is to be goth in Ukraine right now. But my stream is too controversial. I'm asking nicely.
New job. Yay!
I'm not saying that will get clipped.
Congratulations.
Please take
I almost got hit by a tornado at my job yesterday, so congratulations. Look it up. Look at the St. Louis tornado. I was in St. Louis when that fucking happened.
Oh, hello.
Paytherakun is now following.
Hey, welcome. Thank you for subbing. Or follow, whatever. It's the same.
On Twitch.
It's the same fucking thing.
Stop pretending there's a controversy where there isn't. I promise if you do.
That makes you your 100th follower on.
Congratulations! You're our 100th follower. You get a cookie. Here you go, virtual cookie
go
for you.
To reporting on the Berlin Sex Toy Expo or whatever it is you do. Love Kirsche. I think this is a fantastic response to what's going on here. Somehow making this funny while also addressing a serious cancellation campaign being spearheaded by Vice, trying to engage in life ruination. And they just...
Is that our 100th subscriber?
Yep.
And hold on, like a Petheracoon. Petheracoon. Welcome, thank you, you're 100 cookies for you.
I had to be up at 4 a.m. for a micro merches at Home Goods.
For 2 times. Wow.
I hate Mondays because I gotta be up at 4 in the morning on Monday.
Yeah, he has to do that too.
Just won't give up. The people involved with these posts and articles attacking her have no credibility. They're massive hypocrites, and they're trying to make a name for themselves in various ways and on various platforms, and it's so obvious what they're doing. As always, support Kirsche in this. That's gonna do it for this video. As always,
support Kirsche. She's a good waifu.
Mondays and Fridays.
Oof. You off Saturdays and Sundays like us?